Welcome back to Emotional Mojo. Our next guest is a Basketball Hall of Famer, the senior VP of the NBA's Orlando Magic, father of 19. And he's completed more than 55 marathons, and now he adds cancer survivor to his list of successes. We're so happy to welcome back Pat Williams. Pat, welcome back to our show.
Glad to be back. New setting, looks lovely. Good to see all of you again. Thanks for inviting me.
You know, we invited you back because you're an inspiration to a lot of people for a lot of reasons. And let's start with what we mentioned, cancer survivor. So in 2011, you were diagnosed with multiple myeloma. So that's a cancer of the blood, correct?
It's one of the blood cancers. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
When Dr. Reynolds informed me that I had a disease, an illness called multiple myeloma, and I said, what's that?
Right.
He explained that it's a cancer of the blood and the bone marrow.
Wow.
Not all that common, but I had it. And so I've been in the middle of all the chemo and all the testing and all the drugs, and well, over 3 years now. I'm into the 4th year of it, and we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How are you now? I mean, how are you
I feel
doing?
good. The doctors have told me I'm in remission, which is where we were
Hallelujah.
headed.
Congratulations.
That's
That's amazing.
And that's the name of this book that I've written called The Mission is Remission. It's a book that I have learned about battling cancer and what I've picked up along the way, and I want to pass it along to others because we live in a nation that is just riddled with cancer issues. 1 out of 2 men will eventually deal with cancer in their lifetime, 1 out of 3 women. So I think it's important to get ready for your cancer battle.
And Pat, you and I had spoken before I knew of my late husband's cancer, and I remember talking to you, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe Pat Williams is suffering from this, you know, and there's a spectrum of cancers, and this is not one of the good ones to get that you have. And I thought, if anyone can beat this, it's Pat Williams, who is one of the most positive, energetic, inspirational people that I know. And I thought about you so much while my husband was battling through the cancer too. And I'm so glad that you wrote this book, because you're right, there are so many people that are affected by cancer and can look at this and say, all right, how do I get through this?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Dr. Reynolds, or Robert Reynolds, who was my oncologist through all of this, told me on the very first day, he said, you're going to do well with this. And I remember thinking, really? I mean,
That's a good way to start it out, though. You're going to do well.
first thing he said to me was, he said, through your writing and your speaking, you have a positive approach to life, an optimistic look at life. And he said, that's going to be of great value here in this battle. How you look at life in general and how you deal with adversity with a upbeat, positive, enthusiastic approach. And I thought, well, that makes sense, and let's not waste this suffering period, you know. And so I made a decision early on that, you know, I wanted to be a difference maker and be an encouragement and learn all I could.
That's really amazing. You know, it's interesting because we always talk about mind over matter, and you know, our thoughts affect our emotions, our emotions affect our behavior or
And
our
your
actions
physical
and your
well-being.
right. And so, how do you stay so positive? How do you, like you just said, you had to, we call it a reframe. How do you do that on a daily basis?
Well, it's a good question, and I think that you can really focus on that and look at life in one of 2 ways. You know, it's miserable, it's wretched, you know, where it's just a disaster and everything is wrong, or completely the opposite. And so I've always, from the time I was a little boy, been a positive, upbeat, enthusiastic person. And I think that's a good training, frankly, because when problems hit, and they're going to hit,
Absolutely.
I mean, I've learned that all of us are in one of 3 positions in this world. We have just come out of a storm, or we're in the middle of a storm, or we're heading into a storm.
And when it rains, it tends to pour.
Right.
But I want to ask you about your work now with the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. What's the work you're doing with them?
Well, they're a marvelous organization based out of Connecticut. Kathy Giusti is a multiple myeloma survivor, and she has just put so much energy into this. The bottom line is fundraising for research. Because at the end of the day, there are brilliant scientists out there. They're remarkable researchers, and if they have the funding, you know, they can do great things. For example, I'm on a new drug right now that has just been approved within the last year. I'm responding very well to it. They tell me there are 3 more drugs in the pipeline over the next 3 years, but it takes an enormous amount of fundraising and money to fund these scientists to go do the work.
They can't get them out. They can't do the
not
testing.
everything works, you know, and they've got to keep at it.
Retest and retest.
So Kathy Giusti and the MMRF is doing a great job in this area of multiple myeloma research. And so they do fundraisers and they have major events, and you know, she's drafted me into her army.
I'm sure she
You're
has.
a good one to have on the team, I'd imagine, for sure.
And now Tom Brokaw is a member of that club.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about
We
that.
learned about his multiple myeloma diagnosis, and so we've added another star to the battle.
But you know what? Anything that's going to raise awareness, I think that's a great thing. Anything that will get people's attention.
I think that's vital,
know?
and so Tom hopefully will pitch in here, and I'm sure he will,
Yeah.
and be a difference maker.
It's interesting. You have 6 principles, you say, that helped you achieve remission. So I'm going to mention a few of them, and maybe we can touch on a
Okay.
couple. But the positive outlook, which we talked about, keeping fit, we know about physical activity and your mental and physical well-being, a durable faith, a loving family, caring friends, and a supportive community. Any of those stand out to you as the highest on the hierarchy there?
Well, that's the meat of this book. Dr.
Yeah.
Reynolds, on the first day, he outlined everything. He said, you're going to do well with this, and he explained these 6 thoughts that he had, and so that really is the heart and soul of this book.
Yeah.
You know, we could do an hour on each one of them. But,
Exactly. I wish
think-
we had that kind of
I know.
time.
I think your faith really matters here.
Yeah.
You know, and history and studies have shown that if you have a belief in God and lean on Him heavily, you know, it's going to make a huge difference in how you go about this. You certainly need the support of your family to rally around you when this hits. You can't fight cancer alone. And the fitness level, I would really encourage people in that area. I was 70 years old when they diagnosed me, and I had been running marathons, and you know, really we're in good shape. And Dr. Reynolds said, you know, there are going to be some really tough physical battles here, and your fitness level is going to be vital. So I guess what I'm saying to your viewers, stay in good shape. You know, keep working out, eat right, keep your weight under control. You know, because once cancer is diagnosed, it may be too late, you know, to become physically fit. So take good care of your body in advance. I think that's awfully
If
important.
anything, it would help you through the process as well to already be in a state of health, right? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Well, quick little story. The cutoff age for a stem cell transplant is 65 years old here at Florida Hospital. I was 70 when they waived that 5-year period and said that I was in good enough shape to handle the physical demand.
There you go.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that the doctor said, you know, these 50 years of keeping in good health and fitness,
Paid off.
running those marathons, and you know, it paid off at a moment of crisis in my life. So stay fit, stay ready.
What's next for you? What's next?
Well, I'm still writing. I've got books in the pipeline. I've got a number of books that are going to be finished up in the next year. I speak somewhere in the country, probably about once a week. We've got a basketball team that we're running here in Orlando.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
This little thing called the magic, you know.
So that keeps us hopping. And so my life is absolutely full, but I like it that way, and I want to stay totally involved till my last breath. Retirement never has crossed my mind. So
We love having you here. Thank you for coming back. We know you're busy,
Amazing
but to share your message with our viewers, it means a lot.
holler
So thank
anytime,
you.
ladies. It's always fun to be with you.
Hey, Pat's books are available online and in bookstores, so make sure you guys check that out. Don't go anywhere. We have a great video coming up on Emotional Mojo. This baby wakes up in the happiest way possible, and it's gone viral. Millions of people are watching this.
Oh, he's cute.
We're going to show it to you. We'll show you the rest when we return.